Hopefully those upgrades I made the mistake of buying earlier will just kind of come into play later. Maybe people will be a little disappointed that I'm going so light side. But, sewers, so many options. Oh, that was the escape pod, that's interesting. But I find dark side to be so disappointingly unnuanced in Star Wars. Yeah, that is the escape pod. Can I actually inspect it though at all? It's just kind of there. Oh, I can walk into this. I didn't think I could walk into this area. Hey, Kara, any thoughts about the escape pod? No? Alright. You leveled. You might have dialogue.
Hey there. What can I do for you?
I want to talk to you about your brother.
I don't want to talk about Griff and Lena. Just the thought of that space tramp. If I'm gonna be any help to you, I can't be worrying about my brother.
Alright.
Okay. Have it your...
Well...
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
Yep, we're on pause for now. But yeah, I believe the next game is kind of about questioning and dealing with this split and how kind of juvenile it can be. But I don't think this game was particularly interested in shaking up how the Sith think and operate. Because the way that they're presented in Star Wars, the movies, they're led by Palpatine, which is this, like, Darth Sidious, this hilarious, cackling demon man that just wants to do evil because power and evil for the sake of power and evil is, like, the coolest shit, bro. So, like, he's like self-aware practically of the fact that he's like a movie villain, and that's like his entire character motivation. Oh my god, that's a lot of those guys. Alright. But as a result, he can be... Uh-oh. Damn it, I didn't pause fast enough. Oh, shit. I guess I'll try to turn this around. Yeah, I don't think they saw me yet.
Ready?
Nope, nope. Never mind. Mistakes were made. Shit. That's the one I was hurting? This one's more in range of Karth though, so I should probably focus on fighting that one. His range can help, Karth can help with this one. There we go, he's stunned. Oh god, big group coming. Yeah, it's got some controls I gotta get down still. Okay, so Karth. Yeah, you're focusing on this guy, which makes sense. Okay. Did Karth just die? No, he's just doing an attack. I don't think anyone died. Okay. Well, it's gonna be very easy to attack this guy from behind. Oh. Do some big bonus damage, but you should switch to normal attacks because... Nope. On this guy, switch to normal attacks because bad is happening. Okay. Party's alive, that's good. But yeah, I failed to set up my stealth thing fast enough. I should have paused it. Ooh boy. This playthrough is going to be full of me kind of struggling against the controls a little bit, because they're not ideal. I know it's like the nostalgic controls that I dealt with as a kid and all that, but they're definitely not ideal. It definitely is like a CRPG sort of game. Can I just like security hack this thing?
No problem. Didn't work. No problem.
Yeah?
That's not going anywhere. Alright, how about you? Nope, sure. Not blowing minds today.
That energy shield leads to another section of the sewers. The entrance to the Vulcar base is somewhere past there. I've got the codes to lower the shield, but we have to rescue Zalbar from those Gamorrean slavers. Don't worry. We can come back after we find Big Z.
Gotcha. This is our goal. But not yet. Because that would be a betrayal. There, he looks pretty big. Like, there have been a number of more interesting, like, moral quandaries and whatnot, including in BioWare games. But, they're not really, they're usually not really here. Because they're restricted to Star Wars mythos, and Star Wars mythos is built around the idea that there's an innate good and an innate evil. And a lot of people don't question that. I think that one of the best things about the prequels is the fact that they kind of did question that more. I thought that was kind of neat. But a lot of people got so used to there just being such a clear good and bad that even Star Wars fans don't necessarily question this dichotomy as much as they should.
No one's
Yes?
I do sometimes give George Lucas credit in my head, thinking that they... Oop. Oh, he's got a melee weapon, that's great.
Ready.
I sometimes like to think that George Lucas was smart enough to be self-aware of what he was making in the prequels. Not enough to, like, be aware of all the ways that they're not great, but maybe the way that the Jedi are kind of the worst was intentional. Because the Jedi are fucking horrible in the prequels. Like, they're kind of bad people. Like, obviously the Sith are just hilariously generically evil and whatnot, and by the Sith I just basically just mean Palpatine, the only Sith character besides Darth Maul who never speaks. But
No one's gonna see
the Sith are like the Jedi Council and the entire way they train people is overtly abusive and horrible to everybody subjected to that entire system. You rip children out of their family homes at a young age, force them to suppress their opinions while they're going through the force them to suppress their emotions while they're going through being a teenager. And like Yoda's saying horrible things like, you should just basically just be happy that the people you love are dying and stuff like that. And it's just like, Yoda, no. Yoda, no. There's a lot of bummers going on there. But at the same time, the Jedi being horrible, abusive, shitty parents is also why Anakin becomes Vader. And it's so clearly why Anakin becomes Vader that... Why is your dad's corpse still a... How recently did your dad die on this mission? He's still like a fully formed corpse. Ooh, a droid I can activate if I want to, with some repair parts. That could be useful. We'll see if I feel like I need it. But yeah, I was expecting a much older corpse down here than that. It's surprising. But like, considering that the behavior the Jedi engage in the prequels is basically the origin story of Darth Vader, I like to think it's on purpose and not accidental. But a lot of people grow up, especially if you were like around my age, you watch those movies as like a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 15-year-old. So like you unquestionably just thought of this Jedi as being the heroes, and potentially didn't really spend much time questioning the ways that they are like maybe the worst. All right, I should actually not lure them past my friends here. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of y'all. Okay, I'm not gonna lure them in. Because I want Karth to kind of block some of these guys. Because, yeah, if I do the thing I was doing with the rat ghouls, they're all aggroing, so we can't deal with it right now. But I'll just be opening my backline to being attacked. Alright, let's make you the next one, because you're the one that's closest to attacking everybody. I'm trying to defend my backline as much as possible. Yeah, there's a big read you can have on basically everything that happens to Anakin as being like an extended, like, toxic masculinity odyssey that's like almost intentionally, it's almost like you're forcing somebody Like, there's the whole boys don't cry route and all this other aspect that's like manifested in like the stoicism of the Jedi and everything, but it almost feels like the Jedi were just on like a goddamn mission to create a school shooter. Like, it's really unfortunate. But like, that's their ideology. I'm like, wow, your ideology's fucking trash. No wonder you guys made Vader. Like, this is a horrible way to raise children, and it's abusive and garbage.
Look at this. This is one of those old-style manual locks. No computer codes or nothing. The sewers is the only place you'd see one of these on Terrace. You can't use conventional security spikes on these old locks. But don't worry. I've come across them before. I've rigged up a little device that should do the trick.
Zalbar.
I'm glad to see you too, Big Z. You didn't think I'd forget about you. Mission in Zalbar, together forever. These are my new friends, Big Z. Without them, I could never have got you out.
Good to meet you, Zalbar. I'm Varlo Thul.
A life debt? You sure about that, Big Z? Think about it carefully. You better be sure about this. Big Z swearing a Wookiee life debt to you? Wow, this is major. Do you realize what it means?
I've always wanted a Wookiee slave. It's some kind of loyalty vow, isn't it?
A life debt is the most solemn vow a Wookiee can make. It means he'll stay by your side for the rest of your life. Wherever you go, whatever you do, Zalbar will be with you.
I'm honored to accept this vow.
I guess this means you're stuck with me, too. Wherever Big Z goes, I'm going. I almost lost him once. It's not gonna happen again.
Glad to have you aboard, Mission.
So, I guess I still owe you one secret path into the Vulcar base. That was the deal, wasn't it? Don't worry. I know a back door into that scum den.
Good. The sooner we get there, the better.
I better come with you. The Vulcars put up a force shield to keep the sewer dwellers out. I'm one of the only non-Vulcars on Terrace who can get you past it. I can't remember exactly how to get there, but I know it was somewhere here in the sewers. Over to the northeast, if I remember right. I just hope the Rancor monster isn't still there.
Whoa, nobody said anything about a Rancor monster.
There used to be a Rancor monster that made its nest in that part of the sewers. Pretty much eats anything it can get its claws on. That thing is huge! Luckily, Rancors aren't too bright. I was able to sneak past it before, so I'm sure we'll figure something out. That is, unless you want to change your mind.
That's not really an option. Let's go.
Okay then, off we go. Like I said, somewhere to the southeast. Just look for the force shield, and we'll know we're there.
Zalbar's joined your party, but you can only have two, which makes me sad. I want it to be like Dragon Age, where you get to have a 4-member party. Such an upgrade. It's so nice having 4 characters in your party instead of 3, just because these characters, some of these games just throw so many at you, and you're like, I can only bring 2 all game. Aha! So I think they're making me take Mission because she knows the area and she's supposed to guide me. So story-wise, she's supposed to be here, but also she has the codes just to make sure that she's mandatory to continue. And also she can help you sneak past the Rancor if you don't have a stealth character. So she's a catch-all useful character here. I don't remember if people that are not in your party get experience or not. They probably get less. I think I remember in a lot of BioWare games, like it matters who you take with you from mission to mission because it affects who levels faster. But here's Zalbar. Of course I'm going to bring the new character along, try them out, level them up and whatnot. Get a chance to check that out. A Wookiee life debt is a bit heavy. There's definitely the part of me that's like, Jesus Christ, was this him trying to beat his way out, I assume? There's definitely part of me that's like, wow, that fucking came at us quick and heavy, like we just met him. Zalbar might be a little disappointed when he finds out that he just swore his life to somebody who was technically only saving him. I mean, you can, depending on your roleplay perspective, you can interpret it as like, oh, I'm saving him because it's just so, as a guy that's being enslaved, I gotta save him. I'm so altruistic. But even if you weren't altruistic, you have to save him because you need the codes to continue on your mission. So even the most evil character is going to save him out of obligation. And so in that case, like, it's gotta be really disappointing to, like, find out the guy you just pledged yourself to didn't actually care about saving you in the first place, so you really kind of fucking went straight for it. Like, what a mistake. But on some level, I think what they're going for here is that they're kind of trying to explain why these characters are with you, because many RPGs have the problem of, why are these people hanging out? Why are they all together? And that gets all the more questioned if you play certain types of characters that have certain alignments between good and, like, light and dark side characters. Certain people you would expect to leave your party, and like that could just become a big problem with the character motivations for characters. At times, particularly in Dragon Age, with characters like Iron Bull and Zevron, I think his name was, and Logan and Alistair and a few other people, they do a good job at actually looking at this and being like, wait, actually, these characters wouldn't stay with you. Like, this runs counter to their motivation. There's a few Mass Effect characters too. And then they actually leave the party for one reason or another, or even turn against you and die and so on. And those are some of the most interesting inclusions in these games to me, is those kinds of features where you can have characters turn against you. I can't remember if that ever happens at any point in KOTOR. I wouldn't sit here and spoil it right now or anything if I did remember, but I don't know if that was a thing that they were doing yet back then. But it's a really cool thing to include usually. The same stats mostly. All right, so your class, what are you? You're our first scout. We've never had a scout before. Their class skills are computer use, demolitions, awareness, repair, and treat injury. Aren't I bad at repair? Isn't that one of the things I'm bad at? No, shit. My total rank is 2. It's just the +2. Yeah, so I don't have any repair or computer use I'm bad at? Yeah. I'm gonna put all of Zalbar's points into computer use and repair. Those are the class skills that don't overlap with me. He'll be immediately more useful, but he only gets 3 points, which is a bummer. I don't even have enough points to max out repair. Like, that'll be really useful for stuff like that drone we saw earlier. I'll go heavy down that. It fits with the Wookiee background of, like, if we're basing him on Chewie, I think, was an engineer on the Millennium Falcon, and that was kind of his job. Which is kind of a fun dynamic, is you have this big, brutish character that's all animalistic and strange, but then he's like a talented engineer, and it's like, ah, see? Depth. That's interesting. What the fuck did they do to you before I could get to you? Okay, they gave you Flurry. Which you're the first character I think that has Flurry in my party. I want to have Flurry, but I need to kind of set some shit up first. Hey, implant level 2. So he's set up to wear implants. I should get him one of those. He also has power attack. Having both of these is a little iffy to me because I feel like you'd want to specialize in one or the other to some extent. Having points into both at the same time kind of feels like a cross specialization that's just kind of not necessarily helpful. He has rapid shot, blaster pistol, blaster rifle, and he's got a +1 to melee attack, so he can replace Karth pretty easily right now. That should be good. Uncanny dodge is a scout ability that gains +2 defense. Let's see. A character with uncanny dodge retains the dexterity bonus to defense even when surprised by camouflaged opponents. Also gains +2 against grenades on saving throws. Okay, so you can't ambush a scout. So the bonuses that I have at being able to take people out when I am in stealth don't apply to scouts. They can't be ambushed. But also he avoids AoE attacks in the form of grenades, which is good too. The next rank just gives them more of that dodge. Extra vitality per level. That wouldn't hurt. And then of course dueling. Probably want to give him two weapon fighting. Although if I want to make him the tank, fuck, he has 73 health. No, he doesn't. I think he has 73 health after I level him, and yeah. So this is, I think this, yeah, these are his level 5 stats, so he's already gaining 13 more health. Wow. Okay. I mean, he has, being a Wookiee, he has the most health out of any character I've seen so far, so I should probably make him the new tank. So in his case, getting dueling actually might make sense. Just to get that bonus to defense, to stack on top of how much health he has. That might be where I take him with this. He already has double specialization in melee weapons. So maybe I just won't take 2 weapon fighting, but instead take dueling to make him harder to kill. And then equip him with 1 melee weapon. He currently has nothing! Okay. Karth. Okay, we can return to hideout. Karth, drop it. You get to go back to being a ranged character like you were always meant to be. He is very tall. I think when I'm here I can go through all my characters. Nope.
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
I just want to swap out your gear. Do I actually have to, like... I guess I'll take you two. A little awkward, but here it is. Oh, Karth's ready to level up now. Okay, just get rid of your weapons real quick. We'll give you the best one-handed weapon I have. Which appears to be the prototype vibroblade. Seems to have +1 bonus damage over missions, while being otherwise identical, I assume. Ooh, that has an attack modifier of 1. So do I want the damage with the attack modifier? I'm not sure which one to optimize there. Let's take the prototype. Cardio regulator, fortitude +2. That fits for a tank. I think... Oh, Zalbar probably can't wear armor. That's where he has to make up for it with his pure amount of health. That actually might make him a bad tank. Shit. I guess we'll see. Anyway, Karth's ready to level up. His class skills are demolitions, awareness, and treat injury. So I guess I'll just keep putting 1 point to treat injury. Yeah, he doesn't have any specializations I really desperately need, and the only thing he does specialize in is the thing that I can easily get anyway. So 2 weapon fighting 2 is not available yet. Bonus to saving throws. Yeah, he's all about dueling with blaster pistols. 2 blaster pistols is definitely his thing. Pistols akimbo. So, given that he's already that far down, dueling is stupid for him to have. Toughness makes some sense, but he's going to probably not be a frontline character anymore, ideally. Somewhat tempted to give him rapid shot. Or neural implants so he can equip some cool shit. Yeah, I don't generally love his options. I feel like giving him implant makes some sense, because then I can equip stuff on him at least. But power attack's kind of nice. But I like having rapid shot because he gets to spam. Rapid shot's not amazing. With rapid shot, you make one extra attack that turn, essentially. And you don't actually ever get more attacks overall. It's just 1 extra shot. And they just make the penalties weaker and weaker as you level it up. So first you suffer -4 defense and -4 attack. And then it goes to 2 and then 1. So eventually it's just a free extra attack with basically no consequences. Which is fine, but not amazing. But at the same time, I don't know if Power Blast... My issue is I don't know if Power Blast attacks with both weapons or not. Because it might be wasting the fact that you're dual wielding. Whereas like this is like 3 attacks. You're attacking with your left-handed weapon and your right-handed weapon and doing a rapid shot attack. That seems nice to have. I think I'm just gonna give him an implant for now. That should have value eventually at least, even though right now I'm a little low on it. Okay. We can take your armor off, but yeah, you can't put it on him, so it doesn't really matter. Suppose I might as well put it on you then. It's good shit. Yeah, most of his slots are going to be open. We'll have a few bonuses, but I got him set up with a weapon at least. So now Karth will be using 2 blaster pistols, which puts him lower on the ranks too, because he has to wait in line after me, because I'm using all the cool ones. I'm sorry, Karth. You poor dude. Yeah, that's one of the things I always have to suppress about me. Sorry, I'm rewinding to a previous topic. Is I often found via trial and error somewhat that I need to like not think too much about like why are these people together? Why are they hanging out? Why are we all going on a mission together? Whenever I play D&D. Because oftentimes in D&D you play as a group of people that were just kind of thrown together for this campaign. And everyone had their own beautiful background about how they're this guy with this motivation from this land and blah 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 blah. And like, those characters almost never fit together. Oftentimes one of the best things you can do is have like a disaster happen that just throws those people into a room together and they're just stuck with each other. And so they don't get the chance to like question whether or not they want to hang out with this guy because they're all depending on each other for survival. And they're being attacked by an outside force, and that's what's like bringing them together. That's like one of the best ways to run a campaign sometimes, I think, because Otherwise, you have to like try to come up with why your characters like each other or know each other and so on, and try to like think about that stuff more. And oftentimes, when you're most D&D campaigns are between fuck, I was trying to stealth. God damn it.
No one.
Hey, I still got it in time. Oop. And then it unfroze without me pressing anything. What's up, boyos? So flurry is a problem with this character because flurry makes him less likely to hit. Alright, it's more likely to be hit, and that's actually counterproductive for a tank to have. Flurry is like sniper shot, where it's best used when the enemy doesn't have the chance to shoot you as actively. Because if they're shooting you, then you're just gonna die. So a backline character that's benefiting from somebody else getting all the attention can use stuff like flurry. Or sniper shot. Because if they're not getting hit, then the reduced defense doesn't matter. But if you're getting hit at all, the reduced defense actually matters a whole fucking lot. Yeah, here's my chance to level up, and I think I'm gonna start saving up.
No problem.
Even though that blinking is gonna bother us. Hi. Why didn't that mine set off just now? Why did I just open a door with this character? There are several questions to be had about my poor choices. Anyway. Good job, Zalbar. And good luck, Zalbar. Well, that happened. Please stop attacking my friends. They like their organs on the inside. Damn. Damn, this party quickly ramped up. Like, just getting a couple levels, everybody power crept to the point where they're good.
We gotta do something about your breath. I didn't want to say anything, but it's bad. Worse than usual, which is hard to believe. In fact, now that I think about it, your breath has been pretty rancid ever since we rescued you from those Gamorrean slavers. What'd they feed you, buddy? Oh, Zalbar, that's terrible. I know how grouchy you get if you don't get your 8 square meals a day. I'm amazed you didn't pass out from hunger. Ew! No wonder your breath is so bad, Big Z. Gamorreans smell like bantha poodoo. We'll have to pick you up a toothbrush to clean that stench out of your choppers. Okay, relax. No toothbrush. Sheesh. Just try and eat something else to cover up that smell, okay? Stay away from anything that's smart enough to lock you in a cage this time.
I've never heard of Wookiee sigh before.
Yeah.
I technically still haven't. Because of the voice acting. Careful. Please don't run into it. I'm always worried he's gonna run directly into it and not stop at the right spot. I'm just stocking up on mines. This is like an income source, technically, if I don't use them actively to crap things. We just gotta fix his Wookiee breath by feeding him some mint ice cream. That'll help out a bit, huh? This poor guy still hasn't eaten, by the way. Mission made him not eat, and then he still hasn't been fed in the time since. This poor man just wants food. Shouldn't be this hard. This is the back side of the door he was probably beating on. I think he wanted out. But yeah, I guess the idea is that it's just such a huge thing for Wookiees is getting enslaved. It's a huge problem for them. And so Free's like really relieved to not have been enslaved as he thought was going to happen. Because that would have been a real bad time. It's the ultimate, it's like this ultimate disgrace for him. But it's definitely a little weird that he just so quickly was ready to pledge a life debt to me as a result. But it's what you do when you gotta come up with an explanation for why these characters are all gonna stick together for the rest of the game and all that until you do something especially egregious or something. So it makes sense. It's very functional storytelling. Because they got to deal with, like, not only the usual D&D problem of, like, why are all these people sticking together for the length of this entire campaign? Because they usually only make sense for characters like Karth, whose motivation is tied to specifically stopping the bad guy of the entire campaign. Like, you establish a bad guy, and you're like, okay, and this character wants to stop the bad guy. Easy motivation. But what about all the randos that join you for completely unrelated reasons? You gotta create their motivation for sticking with you. And then hopefully you can eventually set up this idea that their motivation has evolved over time to maybe just becoming loyal to you, and we're all family now or whatever, and maybe their original motivation was why they joined the crew, but now they don't want to leave, and so on. You gotta do some character work to explain what the hell's going on. Because otherwise it's like, why are these people sticking together? It doesn't make sense. And different games have very different levels of effectiveness at this. And I find that even just because it's a later game by the same company doesn't necessarily always mean that they did better at it. This stood out to me a little bit when I was playing, hello?
Sure.
I was playing, I think, Pillars of Eternity? And, like, there's certain characters where I'm like, okay, I get why they're here. But then there's other characters where it's like, you meet them, you get their quirky backstory, you get a couple other details, but then you're like, yeah, I have no idea why they're with me. Like, by the end of the game, all this crazy dramatic shit's happening, and it's like life or death, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I ever got a moment where they pledged themselves to me of like, you know, I joined for this one unrelated reason once upon a time, but like, you know, shit's going down, it's the fate of the world, and like, I'm with you, bro. Like, you don't always actually get that moment with characters, and so sometimes you're just left to wonder, like, huh, this is really not what you signed up for, huh? And sometimes the idea of why are these people sticking together is often addressed by just not addressing it, which I sometimes feel kind of sloppy. So I kind of like it when they handle it really well with certain characters. Certain characters like Zevron, for example, where like they aren't, it turns out they're not especially loyal to you, so you really do need to like earn their trust and you have to form a genuine bond with certain characters, or they might just be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not really digging it here. I'm gonna move on. And so certain characters in some games might betray you, or just leave, just abandon you when a certain story trigger happens, and I always find that really interesting when that comes up because it addresses what I always find to be a weird gap in the storytelling. But here we have oh, this is probably one of the other entrances I could have used. Here we have a relatively straightforward explanation. Zalbar pledges a life debt to you, and Mission has a lifelong bond with Zalbar. So there you go. Explanation for why Mission and Zalbar are in the party for the rest of the game. And Karth, his motivations are tied to the main plot, so we don't really need additional reasoning for why he's sticking around. So that's pretty straightforward. It's always a case-by-case thing from character to character, from game to game, how well each motivation's handled. I don't remember the roster of this game that well, so we'll see. This might be a topic I revisit later, if I find it a little shaky and weird that somebody's still in the party. But yeah, they have a lot of double duty thing going on here. I didn't quite finish that thought, where not only do they have the usual D&D problem of like, why are these people sticking together? What's the fuck's their motivation? But they have the extra layer of allowing your character to be two different people. He could be very light and very dark, and that has a very different impact on each character. And depending on how you handle it, it can make it really unbelievable that they're all still together. So you have to be really careful about that by either creating motivation that goes beyond your character alignment for those people to be around you, or they have to creatively respond to the different characters you make to make it believable. which, depending on how they handle it, could involve maybe certain characters leaving your party, or dying, or something or other, or turning on you. That's kind of the ideal. And I say this genuinely not remembering if anyone can leave your party or betray you in this game at all. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna play the most abrasive character, because I'm playing as a light side character. So all these people are in the clear for the most part. I'm not gonna like suddenly start torturing their friends or anything. But I would be curious how well they handle dark side characters, and whether or not some of these people respond very poorly to that. But we'll see how dark side characters respond to me. Any of these bodies lootable? Nope. Zalbar is putting out some fucking work. Oh wow, yeah. So 1 to 8 damage, 3 to 8, and 2 to 9, and then 8 to 17. So he puts out some damage. This is a 1 to 10 damage weapon plus 2, making it a 3 to 12. But he's doing, yeah, 5 more on both sides of that. So he must have a strength mod. Yep, he has a strength mod of plus 5. Big shit. We finally have a tank character. Plus 5 constitution, plus 5 strength. But he's not a soldier. I think he'd have even higher stats if he was a soldier. So 2 things holding him back is he's not a soldier, so he doesn't have soldier stats, and he's not... he's a Wookiee, so he can't use any armor, apparently. So he doesn't have any defense bonuses from that. But aside from that, he's got some good shit going on. He's got 11 fortitude, which is my main character has 1 for comparison, and Mission has 2. He has 11. So if fortitude checks come up, he gets a plus 11 against that bonus, which is big shit. If you roll for saving throws, you roll a d20. So if he has a plus 11, that speaks to what I was saying before about the idea of like you want as little randomization as possible as far as making a powerful character goes. Because a d20 is such a wide range to balance all your stats around. Like having a margin of error of 20 points for every single check is big. It makes your characters really inconsistent, and it makes your survivability questionable and dangerous and so on. So it's great news when your character can really heavily mitigate that by having the ability let's lead with you in case there's a trap. A plus 11 is a whoa, that was weird. A plus 11 is a significant chunk against that randomization. That's fantastic.
Yeah? No one's gonna see this mission.
Oops, you're over here.
Sure. I'll avoid what I can.
Huh?
Oopsie. I guess I could have a chat with you. I want to know a little bit more about you, Zalbar. Wow. He's willing to pledge his life to me for the rest of his life, but he's not willing to talk to me. Not interested in becoming friends somehow to the person he's pledged himself to forever. It's a strange choice. It's just gonna make it. It just seems like the mission to being less happy, basically. You don't trust me? The ways of your people are not for outsiders to know. He was surprised that I knew the language, but I guess that doesn't really earn me any cred. Still, you'd almost wonder why I know the language if I don't know anything about his people. But we're just kind of accepting the fact that my character is like the TARDIS and just can understand every language, seemingly. You'll have to tell me more eventually. I'd say he doesn't trust me as far as he can throw me. He only trusts me as far as he can throw me, but he could actually probably throw me really far. He's a Wookiee. You know anything about the planet we're on? There's nothing on this planet of interest to him. Huh. And yet he's been here long enough to have this big bond with Mission, apparently. I wonder if you could help me with the problem. I actually don't know what my character's going to ask about here. He's actually just not very interested in talking. Anyway, I talked to him I did that talk on accident, because as Zalbar I talked to the protagonist. But I was just trying to open this door. Whoops.
Yes?
What do we got here? No traps. Alright.
I'll avoid what.
Huh? No one.
I'm being careful here. I got a system. It'd be cool to have like macros of some kind to automate this process a little bit. Like a formation and like toggle all my dudes into stealth mode button. But yeah. We've definitely, between everyone gaining a level or two and then also gaining Zalbar, suddenly I can just burn through these groups, which I'm sure you guys are thankful of, because that whole long system I had there was kind of a pain in the ass, wasn't it? Oh, you didn't even join the fight. Whoops. Yes. I didn't manually tell him to fight, to join the fight, so he just didn't. And the fight still went that fast. Holy crap. There we go. Yeah, I figured being map completionist would pay off despite clearly having already finished our goal. Because we've got what we need for that. There we go. Okay, so we have 2 more Promised Land journals. Yep. I have all the clues, which are probably bullshit, so we'll find out. This journal is a record of the long and difficult search to find the Promised Land. It contains many half-completed maps and cryptic notes, all attempting to decipher whether the legend is true or simply a child's fable. By itself, this journal does not contain enough information to solve the mystery. It could be a piece of the puzzle. It should be bullshit. There's no real reason for there to be a Promised Land in the sewers or anything down here. And these people also didn't make it very far. Like, their lifelong journey of multiple generations is that they made it this far. Like, as far as I've gotten so far, which is not far, like, at all. Like, sorry to break it to you, but it's just like several generations of your family seem to have all died for not much of anything. What just happened? What? Whoa.
Yeah?
Sure.
That was weird.
I'll avoid what I can.
I guess walking up to that door is the transition into another zone. It's just not what you'd expect. This apparently I'm in the lower sewers. Maybe I'm supposed to wait for story context for why I'm coming here. Ooh, the rat ghouls attack the Gamorreans. That's useful. Also useful. My gun, bitch! Alright, I don't know why you're out of stealth mode. Maybe you just joined the fight automatically. Okay, sniper shot definitely fires multiple attacks. I can see them. There we go. That went well. Maybe this is a chance to get back to the service. Like, I could definitely use a shortcut. I want to go back to the Promised Land guy and tell him about finding the things, even though it's probably a dead end. I just don't want to walk back through the previous zone necessarily. Sith soldier. That might be a hint about where I'm about to go. Oh. There. The exit at the top of the ladder seems to be blocked with no way to clear. Okay. Never mind. But there's a ladder here, but it's not usable. Huh? Kind of wondering how big the stone is now. Ah, they all ran back here.
No. Sure.
There we go. Everyone's running around, but not where I want them to be. There we go. They keep moving a little bit whenever I stealth them. They're not quite where I left them. It's a little spooky. Hello, Mr. Gamorrean. How do you do? Hello. God damn. That'll do it. Alright. These guys just aren't that dangerous. I should really just be going for it. Let's not be this careful. At least when I can go in knowing there's only one dude.
Huh? Yes.
I'm suspicious of mines being here. You get a reduction to your chance of finding them if you're moving. I'm trying not to move. See, that's a good example.
Sure.
Why is he's standing in a different spot than I left him? Weirdo. What? Why'd mission just walk over there? Stand where I leave you, damn it. Oh. Malfunctioning droid. Hi, can you come over? Ah! Rude. Break line of sight, break line of sight. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Big hits. Anything to be salvaged from the body? Put your weapons away. Nope. Thought I needed combat to end or something. But on the topic of George Lucas and the toxic Jedi shit, which I kind of dropped because, you know, I'm juggling a lot of topics and then the game's happening. My point against that, unfortunately, because I was like, I said I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt and think that he was doing it on purpose. The main point against that is that there's never really a moment of comeuppance. There's not really necessarily ever a moment that I can remember in the prequels where, like, Obi-Wan or Yoda admits their folly and their mistakes in the prequels themselves. Like, say after the fall of Vader, there's like no big moment where they realize that what they like their whole system is a bad thing, which doesn't necessarily have to happen, but it would definitely help illustrate authorial intent if the characters themselves had like a growth moment where they realized that they had failed Anakin and not the other way around. Because it definitely is a whole lot of like self-important "you were the chosen one" dialogue near the end that seems to imply that the failure is entirely Anakin's. You were supposed to bring balance to the force, not this or whatever the fuck. Even though like fewer Jedi and more Sith definitely feels like it's balance to the force. They weren't really ever clear in the narrative what they meant by balance to the force, or what they thought it meant, or what it ultimately meant. It's kind of a vague prophecy. So a lack of commentary from the creators in the form of like in-character moments and stuff like that kind of counteracts any argument that they were doing it on purpose. I'm gonna heal us real quick. So maybe they weren't. But that's part of why I enjoyed The Last Jedi, which is my favorite Star Wars movie, which, wow, that goes over well with people. Is that the way that it interacts with the prequel lore and kind of this acknowledgement that the history of the Jedi is a legacy of failure, and they start questioning whether or not the Jedi are even good in the first place. That's like the one movie that does that. I think the only other time that really happens is KOTOR 2. which, you know, my favorite, these two games are my favorite Star Wars thing pretty much growing up.
What?
So having a movie that goes to the school of KOTOR 2 with its lore analysis is like, oh shit, this is happening. Cool. What are you hiding down here? Guess we'll find out next episode, huh?